Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Emery48 here, and this is the first video on an actual story in the Star Wars universe. This one is on Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void by Tim Lebbon. As I said, I was going to be giving the price for each book just in case people wanted to follow along, and the price for this book is $8, which is about the average price for most of the books in the Legends timeline. This takes place 25,793 years before Star Wars A New Hope, and is by far the earliest story in this timeline. This book starts off by feeling like it's a very ancient form of the Jedi before anything else that we really see in any of the movies. It takes place on planets that we're not used to hearing if we are just people who've watched the movies like I am. There's no Coruscant or Yavin or Tatooine. So it's a very new place and new people. The Jedi are on the brink of being able to fly into hyperspace after stopping Dahl and the Stargazers, who are the main antagonists in the book. This could have given them the ability to destroy the system because they don't really know what would have happened. The Jedi at the end of the book bring the device into a lab, and we can assume that this is where they learn how to jump into hyperspace, as we see very often in the movies. Now, this book did really well going between the main character, Lenore, and her brother, the antagonist, Dahl. It jumped between their early childhood stories of their journey on Tython, becoming Jedi Masters, for Lenore's case, and their adult story of Lenore chasing and following Dahl throughout the system, trying to stop his plot. The way that it always changed back and forth made you want to keep reading because it left you on a cliffhanger from each story. So you wanted to get through that story to find out what happened next, whether it was back when they were kids or in the part of their adulthood. Later in the book, it did focus more on the adult part of the story because this was how the story was actually revolving. The childhood was a little backgrounds on what had happened to Dahl to make him so different than Lenore. There were three major characters which were developed throughout the book, first of which is Lenore. She was the Jedi who was following her brother Dahl throughout the system. Lenore was developed pretty well throughout the book, and you knew who she was and what she was going to do before it really happened, because of how she was developed in the beginning of the book. Dahl, on the other hand, I didn't really start to dislike until late in the book when he was just starting wars on planets for no real reason. So, for me, I didn't think he was developed the best, as I sort of liked him until at least halfway through the book. The final character, which played a big impact in the book, was Trey Sana. He was a little fishy character at the beginning, which was done really well, but by the end of the book I liked him and I wanted to know more about his character. Although I did think his character was developed and played really well throughout the book. Even though there was only really three characters that kept the story moving along, it didn't hurt the book at all. It made it pretty interesting just finding out about the three characters and seeing the real isolation that Lenore and Trey Sana were facing, being pretty much alone on the ship for most of the book. Based on the end of the book, Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void, there seemed to be another book in this series of Dawn of the Jedi. I am not reading it as it was not in any of the timelines mentioned. The next book that I am reading is the Collected Stories of the Sith. There are 9 stories in this book, which I bought for $17. And the first 6 of which are the next 6 stories on the timeline. So please let me know down in the comments below on how you want that episode to be done, whether I do one individually for each story. They are fairly short stories, and I can do one for each or one for all 6. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below.